Welcome back to the 10th Man on the Bench podcast. I'm your host, Willis Love. Right now, I got Doc Holliday in the building.
What's going on, y'all? OG of the group. What's going on?
Yes, sir. Welcome back. And we have to react to this first round, man. Specifically, your team, the Bucks and the Pacers, man. I just want to know how you felt the series went, what you guys could have did to, maybe turn the series around and, let me know what's up, man.
Um,
Oh, 3 a.m. in the building too. 3 a.m.
okay,
We live right now on Instagram. So just letting you know we live. Doc Holliday is gonna give his reaction to obviously his team, the Bucks, losing in the first round. So Doc, just it's all you, man.
man. Honestly, man, I think first of all, to be 100% honest, I think Doc Rivers is horrible at making adjustments. Horrible. You seen the difference between all stars, superstars, and just guys who got drafted. And the main thing about these players, everybody was talking about people are greatness, consistency, man. You gotta have consistency. You can't score 38 points in one game, 10 another game, 38 the next game, 1, 2, 3. It just doesn't make sense. And I think as a fan of basketball and a fan of Giannis, I can honestly say from the look of his face, I feel it might be his last year as a Buck. I would be totally shocked if he's in a Bucks uniform next year. Also, I'd be shocked if Doc Rivers is on the bench running that team again because he he's a bad evaluator of talent, and he just doesn't make the right adjustments. And it showed. You got out coach, and it wasn't about a younger team. You have the most dominant player in the paint next to Shaquille O'Neal, averaging straight 30, 18. His numbers was phenomenal. His numbers was phenomenal. And he just couldn't do it by himself. You got to look at Brook Lopez being gone. You might have to trade Bobby Porter as one of your biggest assets. You have to get somebody there with Giannis that's going to play with Giannis and complement Giannis because when you build up a wall against one player, that means you have no fear in everybody else around him. And Giannis, even though he had a triple double tonight, he got some help, much needed help. Besides Green, besides Gary Trent Jr., everybody else didn't help him. 3 straight plays down the middle, the pick and roll, straight down the middle, 3 straight plays, bad inbounding. Because why? You don't have guards out there. You got your star forward taking the ball out, throwing it at the guys who've never been in that real moment, and they panicked in that moment when they
Mhm.
shouldn't even panic. 7-point lead. That's that old Reggie Miller seconds against the Knicks that scored 7 points in less than 30 seconds, which was impossible to do in this era of basketball.
Mhm.
It was just horrible, man.
I believe this was one of the better first round series of the whole first round of playoffs to me. And I will say we spoke about this before we got on live, Doc. I said this is like the turning of the leaf, like the new era is coming in and like really showing that like they here. Like so like even with Tyrese Haliburton, like 2K had one of these sports things put out a post and they voted him the most overrated player.
Mm.
And this goes to show like just because he wasn't that star on the Avengers team for the Olympics, it just goes to show that he was here. He's here now and he's ready to play, and he took over in overtime with that go-ahead basket at Giannis. Like it's just a crazy thing. Like it's so Rome, like just chime in what you think about this Pacers and Bucks series, man. We just reacting right now. Raw reaction, man.
Can I just get my flowers? Because I gave Tyrese Haliburton his prayers, and look what the light skinned brother did. He came in there and he went deer hunting. He said it was open season, and guess what? He got his venison. He got his deer. So That's all I'm gonna say. Light skinned man up 1,000 points for that one because he came in there and he was tweaking and he was talking smack. He was taunting Dame. And prayers out to Dame. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, he's still a human being, and that was just tragic to see. But nonetheless, light skinned brother came in and he did what he had to do. So yeah, shout outs, man. Let's go.
But my reaction, and let's be real here, it's easy to talk smack when a team is half crippled. Let's talk.
Oh, of
Let's talk
course,
True,
realness.
true.
Let's
of course,
talk
of
real.
course.
Dame was coming in, blood clotted up in his legs. He
Yeah,
wasn't 100%.
yeah,
Hmm.
Let's be. And then you look at it. Siakam didn't get busy. Halliburton played well tonight. Will I call him a superstar?
no,
No way in the world yet. Because you know why? If you pay attention, he was out on defense. He took him out on defense on purpose
yeah.
because he kept getting caught in the pick and rolls himself where Gary Trent Jr. was lighting him up.
Well,
But-
yeah. I
So
mean,
they took now the reverse role is, like I said, when you put guys in a game who've never been in that real game time decision type, they don't know the real signs and direction of what's going on.
yeah,
Like at the end of the day, and I'm gonna give, like I said, with Halliburton, I'm gonna give him his credit. When he was going to taking AJ Green and even Kevin Porter Jr.,
yeah,
like it wasn't nothing. That's when you have to go get some length in the game. You could have put Connaughton in the game, who's been in that moment and could play defense. You could have put some of these longer guys in the game. You
you
could have
know,
put Prince in the game for
yeah,
defensive purposes. You
yeah,
had guys that's on board defenders. This is what I mean about making adjustments.
yeah,
You have to make, and Willis Love, are you 100% correct? This is the changing of the guard.
yeah.
It
Of
is.
course.
It is definitely the changing of the guard.
Mm-hmm.
So now the question we asked a couple of podcasts ago is, who wants to be the face of the league when it's
Right.
Yeah.
becoming an international game coming now? A lot of
Mm.
international players are stepping up. And like you said, you got to give these guys their flowers.
I wanted to ask you a question on that take too, because again, you know, with the Bucks trading away an international player to the Wizards and actually seeing how much of his ceiling is growing in Washington, do you think like they should have kept him just because of reasons like this when Dame will full out of rotation because of the injuries, and knowing because that kid is a younger player, he's experienced, and plus he got the size, the length, and the mobility to take on that role, and has the ability to get that offense going. Do you think
Um,
that was like a great idea for them to make that trade for Kyle Kuzma?
that was a bad trade.
Okay.
And I'm going to be honest with you because under AJ Griffin, Marshawn Beauchamp was blossoming. The kid
Hmm.
was blossoming. But once again, the sad part is we go on names at the end of these games. We go on names. We need the names to finish the game,
Yeah.
not the player to finish the game.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of stuff like Chris Middleton, we could have used Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
We could have used him. That's a veteran, a guy who carried us to a championship, carried us a few years ago in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So simple. We went with the name of Dame. No disrespect to Dame whatsoever. No disrespect. But you went with that name instead of quality.
Yeah.
You gotta. This year, the Bucks took a page out of the Knicks book back in the days.
Yeah.
Drafted all this talent, but scared to develop it because we live in an era where the stars makes the moves. Because I'm pretty sure, like the biggest, I'm gonna just put it like this: the biggest thing that the Bucks did wrong was getting rid of Budenholzer, their coach.
Yeah.
That was the worst thing he could have done.
I think so too. I think because getting rid of Budenholzer, he was the glue, in a sense of obviously keeping, you know, the team together. Also for the fact that they didn't bring back the Nasus to keep Giannis under wraps in the sense of giving him that piece of peace. You know what I'm saying? But also I think honestly with the Bucks, where they really went wrong with is like you said, they started glazing and chasing for name, like, oh, like we got Dame. Like, all right, and like, again, he was on his way out of Portland with injuries and this and that and the third. Then he come over here, he's a hobbled Dame, and not saying like he's still not Dame. He's Dame at the end of the day, but he's hobbled. You know what I'm saying? And now you're trying to place talent around him without making it feel like a rebuild, but you're still quietly rebuilding. But then the pieces that you're getting that's actually good for your rebuild, you trade away for another name, which is a champion in Kyle Kuzma. But then you got to understand, Kyle Kuzma, I don't think is a basketball player for real anymore. I just think he there for the check because he got the championship. You know what I'm saying? So anywhere that's going to give him that bread, because look how he was just coasting in Washington. He went over there to really truly be the face of that franchise, but then got looked over. Jordan Poole came over there and was like, yeah, I'm the face of the franchise. And then that's it. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, because of the ceiling that we thought Kyle Kuzma had because of the LeBron effect, you would think, oh, this guy is going to be good over here, but he wasn't. So you know what? All right, maybe it's the environment. He gets traded to the Bucks. What does he do? What does he do? He has a Tony Snell game, 0-0 and 0-0. And you're like, yo, time out. What are we paying for over here? You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day,
Definitely
it's like,
did.
I'm going to pay you damn near 20 million a year or 18 million a year for you to not, give me nothing in return. And not to say, again, I get it, it's All-Star weekend, after the season trade, whatever, boom boom bow. Cool, you got to get acclimated into the team. But nonetheless, bro, you still playing basketball, and all it takes for you to still get to your spots, because when you were on the Lakers, you was a spot up guy. You got to your corner, you got to your 3-point, and that's what you did. And then when you went to the Wizards, you had a little bit more wiggle room, which you did not take. You didn't take those shots because you didn't want those shots. You took those shots only when you had to, because you had to make sure you got that money at the end of the day. And now you're on a roster to where you really just have to be that spot up corner shooter, or that run the baseline. You just gotta be that person, but you're not taking those opportunities. Or even so, it's like, my thing is this: I don't think that Kyle Kuzma understands how to play with a Giannis, because his makeup of what he should be doing, like, bro, you should just go and move to the side, like, be second fiddle, be third fiddle. You know what I'm saying? You play with LeBron for you play with
X
LeBron,
amount of
so
years. Yeah.
right. You know what I'm saying? You played with LeBron, and all you had to do was sit in the corner. That's all he made you do. We seen it in the bubble. You had AD and LeBron. You had two megastars on your team, and they said, yo, you sit in the corner and you be the third option. Literally. You know what I'm saying? So you went to the corner, you was the third option, and we seen it happen in games 5 and 6. And it was crazy. All right, cool. Why you can't be that again somewhere else? And not to say like right now, but like, bro, like it's gonna fall on you at some point, to where, like, all right, when does Kyle Kuzma be Kyle Kuzma, or does he even want to be Kyle Kuzma anymore? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
I
Yeah,
think we should give the Pacers credit though.
definitely do.
Like
I give him
you know
credit.
what I'm saying? Yeah, because
Yeah,
a
definitely
lot
do.
of it could be like the Bucks didn't do this, but didn't do that. But the Pacers played well, man. They
They did.
played good. Like, you gotta give them credit. Them
I
young
think,
boys
And
is, you know.
and
and
we
I
got
think,
they
yeah,
got tired, bro.
yeah,
You
Mm-hmm.
seen it. He pulled a Tom Thibodeau. Yo, you
Mm-hmm.
had to start at 5 in the whole game almost. And like
yeah,
Yeah.
you said, I give the Pacers credit. They was hitting when we was tired.
yeah.
And there's
Yep.
nothing you could do. Yo, come on. Have y'all ever seen Giannis running down the court with his hands on his knees? It's
No,
like, seriously?
but
Like,
I
come
think
on.
also too, because you gotta remember, now this Pacers roster and how they're put together, they're not scared of nobody. Like
Right.
they
Right.
not scared of nobody. They got, mind you, they got their secret, martial arts master on the bench, and he part of roster, but not part of roster, and James Johnson.
Don't count him, man.
You
He's
know,
the,
but I'm just
the
saying, he the
bodyguard. He's
muscle.
the
He the
bodyguard.
muscle. Right. So as soon as something go down, you know what I'm saying? He getting that Isaiah Stewart bag for no,
But
whatever that it is.
but you also got to remember, it's a good thing because the Pacers is deep. You
Yeah.
had 10 against 6 or 7 tonight,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
roughly. You had 6 against 7. Yo, listen, when they made their adjustments, when Matt McConnell was taking them off the dribble, these guys, yeah, you've never heard of these dudes. And like I said, you
Mm-hmm.
couldn't counter. You had 3 guys countering against a whole team.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. And
You
then
had
at the
3
same
guys
time too,
countering.
like you said, TJ McConnell, right?
Yeah,
And he's a dog, and that's what I'm saying. He's a
That's a
veteran
fact.
too,
But
so it's like,
now
and he's very underappreciated. Everybody don't think about him as being like that guy because he don't get the big name situation going on. But when you see him in game, he's a disruptor. He's gonna make the play. He's gonna make that. He, he kind of reminds me of, and I don't want to seem like it's disrespectful, nine, but it's kind of like he has like the Dellavedova effect in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just come in and just disrupts, or he come in and make the extra play to help you get to what you got to get to in the game.
the Bucks had no guard play. Kevin Porter Jr. I don't care what they say about him. You can see why he's been on like 5 teams in 6 years.
Not
You can
smart.
Mm-hmm.
tell why.
Yeah.
Because you have no control of the game. You just head down, straight forward. Giannis was looking at him like you was doing stuff that you should have been doing in the game. And Doc
Yeah.
Rivers, like he was scared to pull the trigger. Like, yo, my man, yo, you gotta hold your team accountable for what they doing wrong. But
Mm-hmm.
that's the problem we have in this league. Nobody wants to talk back to the stars because they scared they're gonna lose their job. If
Yeah.
you tell Giannis, listen, I need you to get them under control, they're not listening to me. You understand? Indiana, they're not beefing with their coach. Their coach know what he's doing. Doc Rivers,
Mm-hmm.
come on, he went
They had a
10 deep.
great team.
He went 10 deep in these playoffs. You went 7, if that, give or take. That was
Yeah.
stupid. Yo, you took Brook Lopez out. Okay, that's the first major adjustment you did. But guess what? You should have started him with Portis
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
to take some of that pressure off of Giannis and go with a bigger front line against a smaller front line.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, who's mine? I'm gonna keep it real. I never liked him with the Lakers.
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
didn't like him with I didn't because like I said, he's not that guy. These guys play in spurts where they get busy every now and then. And like you said, you playing with LeBron. When you got 3 niggas guarding LeBron, let's be real here. It's easy for you to spot up and just run to the
Be
hole. It's so
exactly.
easy. It's mad
Mm-hmm.
easy. Giannis was learning how to pass out of double team. If he would have had better shooters and guys really like cutting, come on, Brook Lopez, you out there at the 3-point line. Only
Getting
one that was
busy.
cutting was Bobby Portis
You,
Mm-hmm.
you know what
and
it is
making
too,
it easy.
fellas? I just want to chime in real quick. I just
But
think it's like now it's a time period in the NBA where like the main guys are like losing that like that superstardom to
Status.
the right, like now the younger players that's coming in, they feel like they could beat them now. Like it's going like
Mm-hmm.
this now. Like this was LeBron, Curry, all of the stars, and then the younger stars is starting to go like this now. Like when they feel like, yo, we don't got to be scared of these dudes no more. We could beat them. Like this series in particular, Giannis was the most dominant player in the NBA, but they figured out how to beat them. They was like, yo,
Yeah.
listen, we not scared of all that. You coming in, running in, dunking. 2 is not better than 3. We gonna gun
Yeah.
y'all from the line, and we gonna beat y'all. And it's the same thing that's going on in the Lakers series. Listen, you, Luka and
Yeah.
LeBron, y'all think y'all gonna go crazy? Nope, we gonna beat y'all with everybody else because we not scared of y'all. So I just think it's starting to really turn of like a new era, and it's sad to see because it's like these are the players that we enjoyed for so long, and
Mm-hmm.
now it's finally starting to be like they might
what
be
Dang.
you
leaving soon.
Like
Yeah,
the
what,
status
it's
quo is
crazy.
changing.
Yeah,
It
it's
doesn't make
crazy.
sense. Like I was just saying that the other day. I was just looking. I was like, dang, like you gotta like. I don't know if nobody's paying attention, but like Anthony Edwards Alk, his storyline is cemented in history already, and because of what he's doing and how he's doing it, he beat Steph in the playoffs already. He beat KD,
KD. Yep.
and now he beat LeBron. He beat
Mm-hmm.
the juggernaut. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, damn, like,
but you know
damn.
but you know how he did it? The craziest thing he ever did was put him on the Olympics.
Yeah,
He
Yeah.
learned
Yeah.
he
He
yeah,
learned
he
everything.
learned
He
to
learned
watch
everything.
LeBron play. He watched KD. He watched everybody. He just sat back and watched.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I play y'all, I saw you do this over there. I saw you do this over there. And they would have beat Dallas last year if he didn't get tired. I'm gonna be
Mm-hmm.
real. He would have beat Luca last year if he didn't get tired. He burnt
Yeah.
yeah,
himself out. He was killing him.
Yeah.
And right now, it's like I said, respectfully, he's a dog, man. And he's
yeah.
not
Mm-hmm.
respecting nothing
Nothing.
y'all paid the way for. Because it's my time.
Yeah,
Now, that's how Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell took a back seat.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Took a back seat.
And he let
Let's let
Darius Garland go.
everybody get busy. So I
Yeah.
don't have to be tight. And I could come on in the back end and dominate.
And that was super smart because, like, I knew, like, all right, so I'm a diehard Miami Heat fan. Shout out to me and Kev for this one.
Yeah.
But I just knew in my soul, I said, if I watch this series, I'm gonna break a TV in my house. So I decided not to watch the series because I knew what was going to happen. So as I was just check synonymously on my Instagram or Google, and I just started seeing the ass whooping happening. I'm like, yeah, I ain't gonna do
Yeah,
this
we
to
cooked.
myself. Let me do
Can
this
I
to
ask y'all a
myself.
question? Not to cut y'all off. I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Just like y'all asked me.
Sure.
Is it time for Bam to move on?
I
No,
wouldn't. I
no.
wouldn't
And
say
I wouldn't say
ban.
that. I would say it's time for Pat Riley to step down
Yeah.
and let somebody come in who's younger, who's
Yes.
willing to revamp the team with the style that the NBA is going towards.
Yes.
Because once Jimmy Butler left the Heat, the season was over after that.
Yeah.
Basically, it was over. It was no
Mhm.
like, oh, it's Tyler Hero team. Nah.
Mm-mm.
I already knew the season was clipped. Once
Yep.
Jimmy Butler went to the Warriors, I was like, all right, we got to look at like the next couple of years and like how we gonna draft and build people and bring people
Yeah.
in. So the good thing is Miami is a very interesting destination for people, right? Because
Yeah.
you got the weather, you got a great team, you got a good
Food,
organization,
people.
food,
Good
Yeah.
you're gonna
coaching.
be in good coaching, you're gonna be in shape.
Mm-hmm.
So guys like Giannis, KD, all of these guys, Miami's very attractive during
Mm-hmm.
the offseason. So I'm just gonna be patient and just leave that for the back end for another
Yeah.
episode for us.
Right,
Because
right,
I
right.
already know Miami's gonna do something good this offseason.
They're gonna be
They're
good
gonna
again.
land somebody. Yeah, they're gonna
Yeah.
land
Yeah.
somebody.
I feel like automatically it would be better for a younger but not super young superstar to get over there, like a
Hmm.
Giannis. You know what I'm saying?
Giannis
Because
is only 30. He's
that's
only
what I'm
30.
saying. But you
Only
wouldn't
Yeah.
want to
30.
put that load on a 35-year-old Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because again, you doing all of this stress test, this, that, and that, and third. Like, listen, bro, if you're not at that point in your career where you ready to take this type of test or put on this type of weight, then you shouldn't be there. You know what I'm
But
saying?
Ron, remember too, Miami's famous for bringing 2 or 3.
No,
You
yeah, of
know,
course.
you know
But
how we do. We might 2 or 3
that's a
if
fact.
contracts not looking
That's what I'm
crazy.
saying.
You know what I'm saying? We
That's what
could.
I'm saying. And
Hmm.
the loop would be like, all right, well, we grab this guy, we grab that guy, then we could pull a megastar. You know what I'm saying? But you want to just make sure. And at the end of the day, like I feel like one thing for sure, two things for certain, that we're gonna have to blow it up. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
and I think the thing about blowing it up is getting rid of a lot of the players that we do love and we do start to like, but we got to keep the ones that's important, like the Tyler, you know what I'm saying, like the band. We got to keep them, you know what I'm saying. At least Jovic, you know what I'm saying, and Khalil. If we keep
Hmm.
them four and everybody else is expendable, besides Davian Mitchell, because I like Davian Mitchell a lot too.
Yeah. But
Everybody else.
do the Bucks do the same though?
See,
Yeah.
the thing with the Bucks, I think for sure and for certain, I think that it's time for Doc Rivers to step down and let a younger coach come in. The only reason why I'm saying this though
Makes me
is
cry.
because he can't adjust with the time and he does not know how to play superstars. You got to think about it. Every time he went on it, the only time he knew how to coach superstars and when he coached superstars that was basically damn near 10 years younger than him, which would be Paul Pierce and KG and because they was real grown men. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
True.
So
Yeah.
these are real grown men, and he like once he became a coach, he just left from being a player. So they kind of had the same language. These players don't have the same language nowadays with Doc Rivers. Like I get it, player coaches, they're great, but at the same token, if we can't connect, I can't ball for you. You can't ball for me because it's gonna be
Hmm.
certain shit that you seen on the floor 50 years ago that I'm seeing on the floor today. Offenses that you seen 50 years ago now that I'm seeing today that don't make sense. And I'm telling you, yo, they're blitzing me right before I get here. Da 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 da. And now you can't make the
Can't make the
adjustments because
adjustments. Yeah.
you sit
That's
here
what I
saying like,
said.
yeah, you put in the work, you put in the pain, you put in this. Why you can't do it? Yo, they're quicker, bigger, faster. What am I supposed to do? You know what I'm
That's what
saying?
I said,
And
man.
they're
Because
running a lot of actions, man. They're running a
Yeah.
yo,
lot
it's
of
that
new
Steph,
actions now.
it's that Steph Curryness, the
Yep.
constant movement.
Yep.
That's that movement. And like I said, it's the way in the world you see a guy make 3 layups back to back who's slower than everybody, and
Yep.
you don't call a timeout and like, hold up. what's going on.
Yeah.
Because McConnell like 3 layups in a row, like
Yeah.
3 simple layups.
Dog.
Yeah,
Dog.
and like I said, and that's why I said I'm a huge Giannis fan. He's loyal to the team, but he was fed up.
Yeah.
He was fed up. Like, and then like y'all was talking about his brother. His brother, his brother never got cut from the
No.
team. He got signed. He tore his Achilles. I still don't know how he did it. I'm still trying to figure that out. Trying to find some footage of he tearing his ACL. He banned him from the game.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, Doc Rivers messed up Orlando Magic back in the day.
Yeah.
All he had to do was let Tim Duncan's family fly on the plane. He told Tim Duncan, no, the greatest power forward in the league, you can't have your family on the team plane. So he said, the hell with you. I'm going back to San Antonio and won 5 championships.
Mm-hmm.
Bozo.
Craziness.
Imagine that.
Yeah,
Tim
fellas.
Duncan and Shaq on the same team. Imagine
Nah,
that.
that's when they was getting Grant Hill.
Oh, that would have still been
It was
nasty.
Tracy McGrady, Grant Hill, and Tim Duncan.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty work, man. Nasty
Well,
work.
fellas, I'm glad we got this live reaction. Just a couple of things before we end the live real quick. I want to say, right now, the Knicks, it's looking like the Knicks is about to drop this game to the Pacers.
They already lost.
106. Yeah, they already lost. Yeah, the Pistons. The Pistons already beat the Knicks, so it's 3-2. Clippers is down to the Nuggets 25-17, and then the Magic is down 10 to the champs 70-60. So we'll reconvene, maybe tomorrow, maybe Thursday, go live again. I want to go live after the Lakers joint and see if, Lakers survive or not. Because, and before we go, I just want to say a lot of people, this is what I don't understand. A lot of people are going on Instagram and running with these headlines like, how does this affect LeBron's legacy if he loses to Anthony Edwards in the first? This guy's 40 years old.
It doesn't affect nothing. The
What
man
legacy?
doesn't
it
affect
just
nothing.
makes Anthony Edwards. It just gives us the reassurance that the NBA is going in the right direction because
Exactly.
Anthony Edwards is coming in there and he's cutting heads off. That's it, and that's what you want to see in basketball. Stop trying to diminish LeBron's legacy. His legacy is cemented, is goated, and anything that comes after that is not even an asterisk, not even a stain. Just leave it alone. LeBron did way too much for anybody to say, "Oh, well, shut up." Okay.
Here's the headline: Anthony Edwards, GOAT killer.
Exactly.
That's gonna be the headline. If they lose, Anthony Edwards, GOAT killer.
And
like you said, they're gonna show him who he beat: KD, LeBron. They're gonna have a list.
And now if LeBron win, then they're gonna say Jordan never let a first round go to Game 7. Whatever, man.
Yeah,
they're gonna call him the chef assassin, the exterminator for the tarantula, and the GOAT killer. You feel me?
And what about Luka? Because now you got to add Luka to it now too.
Oh yeah.
Then they're gonna say oh Luka came at the end of the season.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad excuses.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just technically him get his lick back. Wow, look at that. That's crazy. Full circle moment for him.
Well, all right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you follow, like, and subscribe for 10th Man on the Bench podcast. I'm your host, Willis Love. We got Doc Holliday in Rome. We see y'all when we see y'all. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Later, guys.